Final Fantasy 4 or Final Fantasy 2, I guess in the States. This is really my first Final Fantasy, I think. I believe my first RPG was Dragon's Quest, but I never played Final Fantasy before till Final Fantasy 2, which is what was called in the States because they didn't import a few of the Final Fantasies. So to avoid confusion, they renamed it to Final Fantasy 2. They also didn't import Final Fantasy 5. So Final Fantasy 6 is actually Final Fantasy 3. Because they didn't import Final Fantasy 2, they didn't import 3, so 2, 3, and 5 never came to the States until later on. Uh, Now 2's out on PSP as a remake, 1's out as a remake. They've all been remade like multiple times. I think the one that got the least love out of Squeenix is probably Final Fantasy uh 3 and Final Fantasy 5. Those have not gotten any remakes. Actually, wait, I think Final Fantasy 3 did get a remake. I'm not sure. Because I don't have all the remakes. I have the PSP anniversary editions and up 2 and of 1 and 2. I have the 3D edition of this game, Final Fantasy 4. And I have the re-release of Final Fantasy 6 and I think it's Final Fantasy 5 or is it Chrono Trigger? I don't remember which one it is. It's the anthology one. But yeah, anyway, storyline is basically Cecil, the Dark Knight, begins to question his king's motives when they're going around taking all these crystals from people. And I don't want to spoil too much of the game if you haven't played it, but I don't think if you played it by now, you're not going to be playing it. But King turns out to be a monster or something working for Golbez, however how his name pronounced. And he's not really the one pulling the strings. Golbez is actually being controlled by some guy on the moon. Zeromus, I think. Zeromus actually turns up later in another Final Fantasy game, Final Fantasy 12. He turns up as a summon. Final Fantasy 12 was a hugely underrated game. I think it's because people didn't like it because it's written in prose, all except questionably, the main character, who was supposed to be the person from your point of view. So he was written in regular good old English, and everybody else was written in old English and prose. So a lot of people didn't like it because maybe it was hard to follow. I didn't have any problem with it, but I really liked it because it had the old Final Fantasy music in it. And now Final Fantasy 13. Now, not particularly fond of Final Fantasy 13. I mean, it has the same kind of bosses that you really have to go into with a strategy. You really have to think when you're fighting some of the bosses. It's not like a tank and spank, as we call it. You just don't go in and just keep hitting them until they die. Something you really have to figure out how in the hell you're supposed to kill them. If not, you're dead. So, uh, Final Fantasy, back to Final Fantasy 2/4 though. Uh, really, there's the bosses on here ain't too hard. You don't have to really figure out too much. Like Shura, summon monster you hit to fight down in the world of the summoned monsters. Uh, with her, if you if you don't figure it out quick, you're gonna be there for a long time. Uh, you have to put a wall up on her, cast wall on her, reflect, and it'll bounce off her heal spell. She keeps casting on herself off of her and back onto you, which makes the fight like 10 times easier. Because she always casts like Cure 4 and Cure 3 on herself. Because she has 4 heads and her heads spin around, and whichever head it lands on, that's what she casts. Uh, the first boss you fight, the Mist Dragon, doesn't have a whole lot, hell of a lot of HP, of course, but when you're fighting him, he'll turn into mist. If you attack him while he's mist, he'll cast pretty damaging, at the time, pretty damaging spell on you. And if you have a lot of potions, if you didn't buy any, like I don't think I buy any in this thing, it could be a problem if it happens. I think I go all the way to the boss from the castle without without using any heals, except I use 2 potions. Of course, this being the band translated version from the Japanese version, you get all the extra abilities that the characters have. The ones I know of right now is Tella gets a recall, which I don't think was in the American version, where he could randomly recall spells. Everything except Medio. And Cecil gets Dark Wave, which is an attack that attacks everything on screen, but it takes health off. Takes health off of him when he does it. Oh yeah, Rosa gets Prey, which lets her pray to her god or whatever, and if it's successful, she'll get a free mana-less heal that heals everybody. What else? I don't remember if he got Edward. He's called Gilbert in this version. If he got Sing in Final Fantasy 2 or not. But yeah, he gets Sing, Hide, Heal. He uses potions from your inventory to heal everybody in the group. And yeah, I think in Final Fantasy 2 he only had Hide. Anyway, Kane's the same. He only has Jump. Rita has White, Black, Summon, or Call. Those are the only characters I've got so far, because that's all I know of. So, because I'm replaying it to get the ending on it, and I've actually never beaten the Japanese version of the game, so I think I will get to a point where I'm like, where in the hell am I supposed to go? And here we can see Cecil being a bit emo, so. The part I didn't like about this fan translated version is when he's in the King's Chamber and he gives him the ring titled the Bomb Ring. I'm like, what the hell? I'm supposed to deliver a ring to a city. It worked better when it was called the Package. Then he acts all surprised when he gets the mist and the bomb ring blows up and sets the town on fire. But yeah, this was my first Final Fantasy. I remember playing it when I was a teenager. I sat in front of our only TV for hours playing it until I get yelled at to get the hell off the TV. And here we go. Yay, happy music. Actually, this is pretty iconic Final Fantasy music. The same music also turns up in Final Fantasy 12. I'm not entirely sure, but I think this is actually the first time this music was used. I don't think because this was the first Final Fantasy on the SNES, so I know there was the intro music, which has been used since the first Final Fantasy. There's the victory fanfare, which has been used since the first Final Fantasy. But I think it's the first time this music was used. And I like heavy metal and all that stuff, and classic rock, and I like some of the Final Fantasy music. Particularly this one, because, throw you back to a simpler time. I don't like how they rewrote this, intro, though. Damn fan-translated versions. It's basically explaining, the airships came into being, blah blah blah, yada yada. It has absolutely nothing to do with the fucking plot. Like, why do we need to know about fucking airships? It has nothing to do with the game. The only time the airships even come into play is when you're fucking flying around in the underworld with, being chased by other airships. Yeah. And now we get to the plot. Seeks up of a corruption, every realization of the streams and why is a monster increasing even in daylight. Yeah, you notice there's two moons in that moat. Look how big that fucking moat is. That moat's as big as the fucking castle. Okay, here we go. We're getting back to the game. Alright, okay. And go. Normally I would go into town here and grab some stuff, but I'm just playing it for this video, so I just go through it really fast. I actually don't use Dark Wave a lot because I don't have any. I only have like 1 or 2 potions, so I don't want to have to spend all I'm healing Cecil. Yeah, this is back when random encounters were the normal thing for RPGs. I'm not actually sure which game invented random encounters, but I don't remember if EverQuest, I don't remember if Final Fantasy was first or if Dragon Quest is first. But yeah, I know Final Fantasy invented side-by-side battle screen like this one. Because Dragon Quest, you stood in front of the mob in a kind of a first-person mode. I don't remember when they changed that, but yeah, after Final Fantasy invented that side-by-side, that's what everybody used. That's like one of the best innovations to come out of the Final Fantasy series. Of course, I really think their old stories are some of the best storytelling in an RPG. especially Final Fantasy VI. I know all the newer generation of gamers, oh my god, all they care about is Final Fantasy VII. Anyway, this is the very small cave that you have to go through. It's only one room compared to the other dungeons. And now dungeons in early RPGs weren't all that long. It wasn't until you got to like what was it? Final Fantasy X or is it X2? Well, those do have a 100 level dungeon that you have to go through, and at each like 20 levels, you have this boss you have to fight that was like incredibly hard. And if you didn't have a strategy for fighting the boss, you're dead. Because they usually either hit you for like an insane amount of HP, or they hit some diabolical fucking attack or something. I use Dark Wave on these bastards. And I think those goblins are just cannon fodder. Because I've never actually been attacked by one. And yeah, see, you can go like 2 or 3 rounds and those goblins won't attack you, they'll just stand there. And now they're, since it's an older game, there's a lot of palette swapping for monsters. And the other goblins, they got like kind of purple skin and dark gray clothing or something like that, they'll attack you. Yay. Oh, we beat a bunch of apparently completely paralyzed goblins. I hate those sword rats. They got that attack they do after every time they get attacked. They counter it with needle every time. They don't counter when they go down though. Like some monsters on like Final Fantasy VI do. They'll get into like a little final attack before they die. Well, this game isn't incredibly long either, but here we're getting up to the boss here. This is when I heal. Yep, 2 potions. Phantom Beef. Y and N. I didn't even bother to type out the whole answer. But yeah, here's first boss. You just kind of have to attack carefully. Now you can make Kain keep jumping, because his jump won't set off the missed attack. Not to mention his jump does more damage than your melee does. Does like triple the damage. When he attacks around later. I usually attack like 2 or 3 rounds with Cecil, and I just keep jumping with Kain. When he's missed. See how long. And jump. This fight only takes about a couple minutes, but that could be annoying. It's funny though because Final Fantasy VI, the boss, start out the same exact way. You fight the snail thing, and yeah, if you attack him while he's in the shell, he'll counter with a Mega Volt. I don't think I ever let him get off that spell though. You can usually go through this whole fight without healing. And he's back to mist. And there we go. And you basically just do this over and over until he's dead. Pretty much a rinse and repeat. But I think this video is about over. Hopefully I don't get yelled for anymore during the middle of recording a commentary. That's kind of annoying. I'm not fucking re-recording this commentary just because I get yelled for. But anyway, thanks for watching. If you haven't played this game, go download it off of wherever you can download it from. Forget the multiple remakes, but thanks for watching.